Sean Diddy Combs remains behind bars tonight after losing an appeal of a ruling denying him bail. The music mogul now awaiting trial on federal sex trafficking and racketeering conspiracy charges that carry a sentence of up to life, possibly life in prison if he's convicted. Let's bring in CNN anchor and chief legal analyst Laura Coates. Laura, what's your reaction to the judge's decision to reject Sean Diddy Combs' appeal to hold him in jail without bail?
Well, in many ways, given the severity of the charges and what was argued yesterday as well, it was all but predictable that this could be the likely outcome here. Remember, there is a presumption of innocence, of course, for any defendant. But normally people think about a flight risk, thinking about whether someone should remain in jail pending their trial. But there were more factors involved, not the least of which is how prudent it would be and how feasible it would be to prevent the alleged activity from occurring while one is under the supervised release of a probationary period or out on pre-detention release. In this case, they found that it was not going to be viable as a solution to do so. And even though he wanted to post money, even have ankle monitoring, the severity of the allegations and possible obstruction or witness intimidation played very much into the decision.
And Laura, we also all remember that really awful, horrendous video of Combs viciously beating his then girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel lobby in Los Angeles. How much did that footage actually play in the court today?
Well, first, that footage is undeniably disturbing to think about what we witnessed and that this may have been a precursor as a civil matter that would lead to the criminal allegations as charged in this. The idea of intimidation or obstruction or the abuse-related allegations, which in part are contained in this new indictment, would have weighed into the court's decision as to whether he posed a safety risk to the community specifically. Now, he has come out, as you recall, after that video to apologize for his behavior, to say that he was disgusted then and disgusted now with what he saw. But when you're talking about violent crimes, violent allegations, that will weigh in the court's overall decision about keeping the community safe. Now, he will be, as somebody who has some notoriety, he will have some level of protective custody, not in a traditional sense, but separation from maybe part of the general population or thinking ahead to what that might look like for him. But he right now is similarly situated with every other defendant who has allegations of this severity and poses a potential risk for intimidation or obstruction. Remember, some of the conduct they allege is as recently as 2023, later in the year. And as of last week, they allege that he made phone calls or there were some communication over 50 trying to access a particular witness that he thought might be a part of this entire endeavor. And so all that combined is likely what weighed heavily on the judge's mind.
It was interesting, Laura, that the prosecutor today read a text message one of Combs' victims sent to him after Cassie Ventura's lawsuit became public. She's the former girlfriend who was kicked and beaten up brutally by Sean Diddy Combs in that hotel lobby. The woman said, and I'm quoting now, "I feel like I'm reading my own sexual trauma," and said she felt manipulated by Combs. What does that tell you about the risk of witness tampering going forward?
That tells me that this particular indictment might be the floor, not the ceiling of what the allegations would contain. Remember, there are the civil lawsuits separate and apart from what a prosecutor will be able to charge. Those are normally ending in damages, often monetary damages. And a criminal prosecution, that can be used to build one's case and to buttress the credibility of other witnesses. This suggests to me, given that this is a criminal enterprise being alleged, and they talk about enablers of people who were around Diddy, it might be very likely that part of that enterprise could be to access people who they think might possibly be helpful to the prosecution. And that is very, very disturbing for any prosecutor thinking about how they're able to prove their case beyond a reasonable doubt, not only for the victims that are alleged, but for prospective victims as well in the administration of justice.